Jiminy.
Hey.
What's up, buddy?
What's the title today?
Stephen running. Hi.
Hey, Steve. What's
Sean,
up?
a.k.a. Trendy
Hey,
Orca.
Sean, what's up, buddy?
Morning, Nay.
How's it going? We're live.
Holly Horn.
Hey, Holly.
Hey, Nay.
How are you? We're going to be reading an opinion piece on today's show that actually mirrors my opinion. Well, at least the title does. I have not gotten into the article, but I have a feeling I'm going to agree with everything I read in it. Should be pretty interesting. Let me turn this brightness down here.
Claudia George. Good morning, sir.
Hey, Florida George.
Holly Horn.
Welcome back.
Governor death
So
sentence.
you're unbanned. Governor death sentence. Yeah. That's funny. I like it. I don't want to be here yet right there, I think. Okay, great. So let's just see what's going on the Rumble. Okay, great. There's some people there. Awesome.
Sean, a.k.a. Trendy Orca. Fixing to go up to my GF's place to enjoy breakfast with her LOL. But first I gotta get my morning ration of awesomeness from Trendy Nay.
Awesome. You should watch with your girlfriend while you guys are eating. Okay, so I've got a bowl packed, ready to go. It's smoked on a little bit, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Everything's fine.
Holly Horn. Nay, did you see the Empire Files video about DeSantis?
Somebody asked me that recently, and you know, I may have checked it out. I can't remember. Was it the one that exposed the torture program that he was involved with?
Nancy. Remember when we met at the park?
Yeah, and you brought your mom, and then I had sex with your mom.
Big Mac,
and then
83.
I made you smell what your mom smells
Yo,
like.
dude,
Remember
yo.
that? Remember that? And now you know what your mom's pussy smells like? Remember that? Wasn't that
Holly
great?
Horn.
Boy,
Yes.
that was a fun time.
Sean, a.k.a.
We'll reminisce
Trendy
about that.
Orca.
We'll reminisce about that in a few
We are
minutes.
doing it over video chat, since she already went to work.
Doing it over video chat. Oh, good. Okay, excellent. All right. Well, let's do a bong rip and get started. And this is the Rumble chat, but no one's in there saying anything yet. So let me just kind of move that down here. It doesn't have to be there until somebody starts chatting over there. Okay, let's get started. And then we've got this article. DeSantis wants people held accountable on COVID in Florida. You first, Governor. That's the title of the article. I love it, and I can't wait to read it. It was written by the Sarasota Herald Tribune, opinion piece by the editorial board.
Sean, a.k.a. Trendy
It was a group
Orca.
effort.
Cheers to all the
Cheers.
trenders who kick ass.
Here we go.
Cheers.
Nancy. Remember when you used to on camera?
Yeah, I remember when I used to bang your mother on camera and make her scream.
Rocks 1 SMS.
It was great. Those are great
Good morning.
great times.
Cheers.
Your mom loved sucking my dick.
Hilarious comeback.
Hey, fucking laugh.
Hey, you asked.
Can't laugh.
You asked. Yes, I remember. You go around today. Yeah, now you go around all day today. You think about the way your mom's pussy smells. Okay. Thanks for coming by.
Stopping.
Billy Valentine. Nancy, Remember that time when you got that coat hanger abortion in Texas just now?
Yeah, I
Sean,
remember that time. Hey,
aka
Billy, what's up,
Trendy
buddy?
Orca. Wow, getting spicy in here, LMAO.
Okay, so here we go with the article. This is going to be interesting, I'm sure. Okay, here we go. For some reason, my mouse reset. I don't know why. Okay, let's start from the top. You know, listen, the reason why this is so fun for me to do is because I tell you guys this stuff months in advance, okay? Later, articles start coming out, and you guys get to read about it, and then when you go back and you read the articles, you're like, where have I heard this before? And you'll be like, that's right, that crazy guy in Florida that smokes cannabis with me 3 times a day. That's the guy I heard this from first. And you know what? This is the exact same opinion he had. It's almost like this person listened to his show and wrote this article based on what Nay said, right? DeSantis wants people held accountable on COVID in Florida. You first, Governor. So I've already told you that it was because of Ron DeSantis's shit policies that people like Joe Rogan and Jimmy Dore and Tim Pool, you know, trumpet around like it's some kind of a great accomplishment. He's got 83,000 bodies that he's standing on top of while he does that. And it's like Jimmy Dore, Joe Rogan, and Tim Pool look past the bodies and they just see Ron DeSantis. They just look past all the bodies. It doesn't mean anything to them that 83,000 people are dead, not alone. If 83,000 people died from COVID, think how many people are going to be suffering for the rest of their lives with all the bullshit that this COVID we're finding out it's doing to us long term. So that's 83,000. Let's get up into the millions. I've got relatives, I've got friends.
Francesco Moro. Hi, everyone.
Hey, Francesco. I've got relatives and friends that are literally telling people right now, dude, I've got medical conditions. I don't even know how to describe them. And they have had COVID before. So you want to talk about long COVID and shit like that? Man, I've been warning my audience and warning my audience and warning my audience. I was always here ever since California. I remember we talked about it ad nauseum.
Joe Moore
I've
one.
always been here for you. And I want
Hey,
you to
Nate, you
and
might
I was
enjoy
always
this.
right.
Search it on YouTube. Itras Bitboy Crypto in the Bahamas. Sam Bankman-Fried returns to jail and Bitboy interviewed about what happened.
Joey, dude, what the fuck have you been, dude? It's so funny. You come in here with your head so far up your ass that when we literally plucked it out of you, that lump of coal has turned into a diamond. Are you listening to me, bro? Are you listening to what we're talking about? Did you look at the title? Are you listening to what I'm saying, Joey Maloney? Do you realize that we're not talking about what you just came in rudely interrupting me with, something that we've been talking about for the last week? So you weren't here for the last week. You didn't know that. So you come in here and you think you're recommending something to me?
Francesco
Something that
Moro.
I've already covered?
Ah-ha-ha.
But you got to interrupt my current show so you can do that? Maybe you can explain that to me while I sip my coffee and hit my bong. Go ahead, Joey Maloney.
Joe Moore one. Okay, I'll excuse myself
okay.
after.
Bye. I was gonna give you the floor. I was gonna let you explain why it was so fucking important that you talk about something that we've been talking about for a week while I'm talking about Ron DeSantis murdering 83,000 Floridians. You know? But you want to talk about Sam Bankman-Fried? It's just fucking rude, Joey. You know, you can excuse yourself all you want. But there's no excuse for people coming in here and just being rude little bitches when I give you guys a voice that will literally interrupt me in the middle of a goddamn show. It's amazing how fucking nice I am, isn't it? God, I'm a good guy, giving you guys a voice, giving you the opportunity to break in anytime you want, you know, hopefully make some fucking sense and you know, further my narrative, help the show along. But no, you choose to like, oh yeah, man, I'm just gonna completely fucking, you know, put a goddamn boat anchor down, You know, and sink your goddamn ship. Oh, great.
Liquid Slope
Great idea.
0. I think your underwear is on a little too tight today. That's the vibe I get here.
Dude, my underwear is never too tight when I wear my sheaths. The best underwear ever. I'm always in my sheaths. And let me tell you about those sheaths. Let me tell you about them. 40% off any order at sheathunderwear.com.
Liquid Slope 0. The Illuminati.
Is it comfortable?
Dale Young. Maybe Joey
Always
was too
comfortable
busy
in my
Christmas
sheaths.
shopping to watch the show.
Well, you know, whatever it is, it's fucking rude, and you motherfucking cunts know that I have an audible chat up here. You know, and you fucking take advantage of it all the time. And you're rude about it all the time. And I've just gotten to the point now where when you're going to cut in, when I'm literally in the middle of a show, and you know what I'm doing. You know I'm doing a fucking thing. You know it. And you come in and you're like, yeah, I don't care what he's talking about. I just want you to cut off.
Liquid
And I don't want you to ever
Slope
fucking
0.
come back in here again.
We
Joey
the cunts
Maloney.
have our unalienable
You
rights.
are fucking excused, you
We
fucking
the
cunt.
cunts will have our say.
Well, we'll see how much of a say you fucking dumb cunts get. All right, we'll just see if you've got anything, you know,
Josh G.
you know,
What's up?
legitimate to share with the rest of the fucking goddamn crew here. We'll see. You know, you come up against me. I'm talking about 83,000 people dead in my
Lisa
state,
Frankel.
and you're talking about what?
Hes mad that people are calling him out about the park thing.
That's a person. So it's not a bot.
Liquid Sloth 0.
It's a weird person.
99% of what I've seen is you yelling about dumb cunts. IDK, what else there is you share? LOL.
I don't know. You know what?
Francesco
It
Morrow.
is just me calling people
Hey,
cunts.
Josh.
That's all this show is. So if you
Francesco
don't
Morrow.
want to hear me call dumb cunts the
Ah-ha-ha.
fucking dumb cunts that they are, you should probably find some other podcast to watch, because it's what I do all fucking day. It's the only thing I do on this podcast. In fact, we're going to change it to the Cunt Cast, and it's just me casting out cunts. That's all it's going to be, the Cunt Cast, starring Nay in the garden. I like that. In fact, I said I was going to smoke a bong hit, and I haven't done it yet. So before I cut you off, I think I'm going to do another bong rip.
Liquid Sloth 0. No, I like this. Let's get all the dumb cunts rounded up and put them somewhere.
Gorilla Glue,
Where they can better concentrate.
Bazarov 2,
Bazarov 2.
Gorilla Glue.
What strain you got right now?
And, well, I've got several,
Claudia
but
George.
this is the one I'm going to smoke.
They don't have to be here. They wanted to get a rise out of you. Billy Valentine.
Wow, Florida George, I don't understand
If
trolling
there
at all.
weren't so
Thanks for
many
explaining
cunts,
that to
You
me.
would call M
Holy
cunt.
shit. I would have
When
never
does cunt
figured that
fall on
out, George,
the
if it weren't for
I'm not
you
gonna call it
explaining to me what trolling is. Thank you, Florida George. Damn, you're smart. Wow. I never knew that. I didn't know that people came in here and acted like dumb cunts to get me fucking pissed off.
Dale Young.
I had no idea.
He'll always be young, but not a young cunt.
Dale, we can see you. We can see you.
Yeah.
You're not always going to be young, bro. You've missed that boat. Your name might say young, but you are not young. Not in that sense of the word. I mean, where's your hair, Dale? Where's your hair? That's all I'm saying. That's young. It's very
Billy
youthful.
Valentine.
It's a very youthful look
Ha
for
ha,
a
Dale.
for a newborn baby.
Stupid cunt.
Oh, we're having fun.
Claudia George.
I'm having fun with all you motherfuckers.
You need a bong rip. Cindy Hall. Hes saying that you are letting the trolls get a rise out of you.
Dude, I'm letting the trolls boost my numbers until I'm happy with how many
Liquid
people are
Sloth
here.
0.
Then I get rid of all the cunts,
Does the
and then I
COVID
move on with
vaccine
my
stop
show.
people from getting COVID
I do what
or
I
spreading
want.
it?
This
What
show
do
does exactly
vaccines
what
do
I
exactly?
want it to do. It ends when I end it. It explodes when I want it to explode. It gets very calm when I want it to be very calm. I control the show. I control your voice. I could turn you off anytime I want. Maybe the people that are getting trolled are you. Did you ever think about that? You're here, aren't you? Boosting my numbers, aren't you? Getting called cunts. I mean,
Liquid Sloth 0. We the cunts are getting trolled so hard.
You're here. Well, I mean, am I supporting you somehow? Or are you here supporting me?
Stephen Running. Great
I'll smoke to
speed.
that.
Cindy Hall. Trolls love it
Cheers.
here because you get mad about it.
Exactly.
Dale
And that's
Young.
why I have Nick
Well,
Brown.
he'll agree.
That's
The
why
only
I
thing
have
about me is my last
um,
name.
Caliana.
Hash.
And that's why I have
He
some
is a
other
troll master.
fantastic, wonderful people that came here because they thought they were going to troll me. And then they were like, dude, this guy's the best. And they stayed.
Liquid Sloth 0. He is like the Tyler one of Twitch talk shows.
Yeah, you know, that's probably very embarrassing, and I'm sure it would hurt my feelings if I knew who the fuck Tyler 1 was. Cheers, guys. Cheers, Jiminy. Cheers.
Oh, dude.
Cheers, Liquid Cunt, Hash, Dale Young. I'm going to call you the head. Cheers.
Beautiful name.
Surrounded by Keith. Cheers, nay.
Cheers, Keith.
Surrounded by Keith. Cheers, cunts. Billy Ballantyne. Spent like 2 hours on Discord with Cyber. Great dude. Stephen Running. Cheers, hash I bong along. Liquid Sloth 0. Please call me Mr. Cunt.
I'll just call you Cunt.
Cindy Hall.
That's all you get.
I've been here ever since you uses to use the toilet on camera.
You guys ready for the article? All right, here we go. So, as you guys know, I've talked about Ron DeSantis literally for years, and I've warned the world that he was going to try to become president. I was right about that. I also warned you he was like Donald Trump on fucking crack, on steroids, getting his dick sucked by a fucking porn star. You know, he's the worst of the worst of the worst. He's got all of Florida behind him. The penis of the United States. Hey, Patty, what's up, brother? So, yes, welcome, man. Thanks for coming into the show. So, when an article like this comes up and it proves me right, it makes me feel good because my audience knows, you know, the ones who like me, they know that they've been watching the right guy. And now, while this is an opinion piece, it appeared in the newspaper in Sarasota, not a big place or anything. But you can see somebody else with their whole, completely separate from mine, summary of Ron DeSantis in just a headline. DeSantis wants people held accountable on COVID in Florida. You first, governor. In other words, you're the one that's been the fucking biggest problem. You're the one that's caused the most death in this country. I mean, in this state at least. I mean, we've got a Bible's full of evidence against DeSantis for being as evil and horrific as he is. $83,000. Go look it up. I believe they're number 4. $83,000 deaths. In per capita, they're like ranked in the top 10, and I think overall they're like in the, I think they're in the top 5. Go look it up. I mean, you know, don't let me educate you on something you think you have a source for. Go fucking source it out yourself, okay? And come back here and see that I'm fucking right. So, I've seen multiple reports come out around this, but I haven't read this article yet. It's going to be interesting. So let's check out what it says. It says, Governor Ron DeSantis wants the Florida Supreme Court to impanel a grand jury to investigate potential wrongdoing by the medical community regarding how it informed Floridians about COVID-19 vaccines and their actual efficacy. In other words, DeSantis is seeking the creation of a Truth and Reconciliation Commission of sorts to hold responsible those who have supposedly failed to fully protect Florida against a virus that's killed more than 83,000 people in the state since early 2020. But let us never lose sight of the following. Over the past 2 years, few leaders have outdone DeSantis in discouraging mask mandates that have clearly been beneficial, blocking access to vaccine shots that have clearly saved lives, and downplaying the gravity of a global pandemic that has clearly been catastrophic, with more than 1 million lives lost in the United States alone. So, what that paragraph says is, of everybody that is in a leadership position in this country, he's the worst. He's the fucking worst. This website, dude, Florida looks clear on this website. Oh my God. Okay, yeah, Florida's clear. No one's died. I'll read on. Yeah, go watch some more Joe Rogan, Jimmy Dore, and Tim Pool, bro. They're setting you straight. Over the past 2 years, few leaders have outdone DeSantis in discouraging mask mandates that have clearly been beneficial. I love that statement. He was anti-masks. He thought they were bad. He thought it was evil or some kind of thing. People couldn't smile at each other. He had all of these reasons and excuses. Liquid, I don't understand what you're trying to say. I don't know what you're trying to say. Given all that, if any panel needs to be conjured up to demand that amends are made for failing to safeguard Florida's well-being amid COVID, shouldn't DeSantis be among the first summoned to appear before it? Doesn't our governor have much more to answer for regarding COVID's grim impact on Florida than members of the scientific community? They have certainly done far more to diminish the pandemic's toll than he has, with their remarkable efforts to quickly develop, distribute, and administer a range of life-saving medicine. The conventional wisdom is that DeSantis is clamoring for a grand jury to investigate the science community because it is another way to boost his 2024 presidential aspirations. I totally see that. Why he's doing this. Oh, sure. To lather up his base. Absolutely. Especially. Hello? Oh, congratulations. Oh, okay. Awesome. All right, cool. That was good news, man. Really good news. So you guys see what this guy's saying on YouTube? It's actually pretty funny. They're anti-maskers in the chat. So they're anti-science. There's literally proof that they work, Okay. Especially among America's all too sizable contingent of COVID vaccine skeptics, and B, Another way to settle scores with medical experts who have admirably pushed back against the governor's efforts to encourage Floridians to ignore the realities of COVID. But neither of those reasons, or any other for that matter, can possibly justify DeSantis' latest attempt to treat COVID as a cheap political opportunity and not as a serious public health issue. It's so shaming. I love this. It's really short. It's a short little article, isn't it? And that's why when it comes to DeSantis' call for others to be held accountable on COVID in our state, the 3-word reply should suffice. You first, Governor. That's it. You know, for that to draw in someone who's anti-science to come in and try to say that masks don't work, I love it. It's exactly why I do a story like this. I do wear a mask when I go out. My mom and I went grocery shopping. We went to the pharmacy. We both wore masks. So I don't know what you're talking about, George. COVID info, really? God damn it, man. I should just delete the video off the main channel. I don't understand how me reading such a short article warranted that. But all I can say is what a bunch of fucking cunts. You know? What a bunch of fucking cunts. Let me fucking speak. I'm reading a fucking news article, you motherfuckers. You know, I'm quoting the source. We're fucking having a lively conversation about science in which I promote on this channel. And you stupid fucking cunts are fucking restricting my video with a fucking banner. Yeah, probably, George. Who knows how it works, you know? Yes, you know, all of these people back DeSantis. Truth to light, it's Joe Rogan, Jimmy Dore, Tim Pool. They're all pushing for Ron DeSantis. They love him. And it's for the exact wrong reason that they think they do, right? Right? I'm not the only one that warns you guys about this. You're going to see it more and more. And let me tell you something else. 83,000 ain't the end, bro. We're just getting started here. I'm telling you, when my mom and I went out, nobody's wearing masks anywhere. So, you got to take personal responsibility for yourselves, man. I don't want that long COVID bullshit. You know, I don't want to have all kinds of strange, weird diseases for the rest of my life because I caught COVID. And then, you've got lowered antibodies, lowered T cells. You guys know this? Go catch it. You know, it's going to, like Jimmy Dore tells you to. You know, Jimmy Dore wants you to go out there and catch it. Bro, you'll have organ failure, bro, by the time you're 60. You know? Who knows? Oh, you have a Santos pizza. You want a pizza? Because I said Ron DeSantis. You want a fucking Santos pizza? Hey, come see me. Down here at Santos. Hey, look at me. I'm Al Santos. Down here making pizzas. At the pizza place. Dude, I pissed off some dudes in the chat. It was so funny. I didn't have it playing and I didn't have it showing on on screen because fuck platforming those little cunts. But you should have seen what the little bitches came in and said when I was talking about it. It's funny as fuck. I mean, that's what we're up against. Yeah, I don't even have the voice to do this shit. You know? But people that just don't believe simple science about wearing masks. But the truth is people don't give a fuck about other people. You know, even if somebody thinks they have COVID and shit and they need to go to the store and whatever and they're not down with masks, they won't fucking wear a mask to protect other people. They don't care. They don't care about you. They don't give a fuck. Because people are fucking vermin, for the most part. You know, there's some good ones out there. Hopefully they find their way into this show, like y'all, and they hang out. You know, but there's vermin everywhere. Understand that shit. People that just don't care about you, people that spread disease, and they get a sick kid, they put their kid on a bus with your kids, they get your kids sick, your kids come home, get you sick. You know? They don't fucking care about you. Dude, I've been sick now for a fucking week. A week I've been fucking sick for. Hey, you guys, I'll be right back. Hold on one second. Hey, Mom, you alright? Mom, you okay? Are you okay? Alright. My mom's over there freaking screaming and shit, just making sure she's alright. She's talking on the phone with my sister. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, that explains everything. Hey, Nikki sent me something on Twitter. Oh, yeah, I've seen this. Oh, yes, I've seen this. God damn it, where'd my... Oh, fucking all caps. I don't care. I'm just apologizing for the all caps. I'm just, you know, I'm not typing it a third time. So, yeah, Nikki, radical leftist agenda. She sent me the video that we watched on here a couple weeks ago about remember we were talking about that Ron DeSantis was in Guantanamo Bay, and it was this guy who was interviewed, and he told the story about Ron DeSantis standing there while he was being force fed. We talked about the whole thing on the show. Does anybody remember that? I wonder. I told you guys Ron DeSantis, he went in there as acting like he was a lawyer and asked them. Oh, Josh G remembers. Okay, good. Thanks, buddy.
Surrounded by Keith. I missed it.
Oh, you missed that. Yeah, I don't know why I think that you guys go back and watch shows when you miss them. You guys are missing some great fucking episodes. I could say that. I've put up some really good content the last few weeks. Um, yeah, that was several weeks ago. We saw the video of this guy being interviewed, talking about Ron DeSantis coming into Guantanamo Bay and acting like he was their advocate,
Brop all day. Good morning.
saying, "What is it that they do to you that hurts you the most?" And they'd say, and then he'd go to the torturers and say, "Keep doing this and do it harder because this is what hurts them the most." That's what his job was, to make their torture worse, to ratchet it up. That was his job. He stood there right in front of guys close enough that when they were being force fed, that these guys literally vomited on him. He was right there. That's Ron DeSantis. He likes to torture people. You know, I said this on my show the other day. I said, Ron DeSantis, he can only come when he's jerking off when somebody's getting tortured. You know, when he's fucking his wife, he's thinking about Guantanamo Bay, torturing people. That's how he comes. Okay? I try to say this in a shocking manner so it'll sink in and you guys will remember it. So, I'm not doing my job. Not doing my job, man. I'm sad. Does anybody else remember that besides Josh G? Jim, were you here?
Yeah, of course I remember.
How long ago was that?
When you're talking about sentence?
Yeah,
Surrounded be Keith.
that we talked about that.
It's
Oh.
fucked.
First
You're
time I
doing a
remember
good
you
job.
talking
Josh G.
about a month ago.
PSHHH.
I think it was
I
that
wonder
long.
what his wife is like to marry a man like that.
It was a tweet that
Probably holds out on him.
Ron Placone put up a tweet,
Surrounded be
and it
Keith.
had that link to that.
I'll go back and
video.
watch it.
If we find Ron Placone's tweet about
Billy
that,
Valentine. That's happening here too.
it was
Fuckers going to
that
work
was the
sick.
day that we talked about.
COVID tests are only $40, but they need a 40 bag. Tough choice.
I don't know what the show, if it had a title in it, probably did not. Wait, let me just look. Maybe I did title that one. Elon Musk's net worth sinks to 2-year low. That's funny. Oh, I gotta go to my channel.
Flaudia George. He comes on a cookie and whoever eats it first wins their freedom.
Let's go to my studio. Yeah, my content. My live shows. DeSantis.
Billy Valentine. Oh yeah. You even capitalized it. Ha ha ha. Jesus.
What did I
Heavy
capitalize?
Padilla. Good morning, Nay.
What did I capitalize, Billy?
Hoot and howl. The bad C word in your title.
Huh?
Billy Valentine. It says COVID in the title in all caps. So the robot woke right the fuck up.
Oh. Oh, I forgot to code the word. I forgot to code the word. Dude, I've got a whole bunch of DeSantis videos where I talk about him. A video just for Joe Rogan, Tim Pool, and Jimmy Dore. Here's what they think of Ron DeSantis. Maybe we should watch that one. It's a long video.
Yeah, I think Ron DeSantis would work as a good president. I mean, what he's done for Florida has been admirable.
Look, I feel like I'm doing breaking news right now.
Yeah.
That wasn't even on purpose.
I feel like what he did for Florida, a lot of people gave him a lot of grief, but ultimately he was correct. He was correct when it comes to like deaths.
What he's focusing on is early treatment, getting you the monoclonals. And I went nuts.
He was correct when it comes to protecting our vulnerable populations. He was correct in terms of distribution of monoclonal antibodies.
People are going to try to control the truth, and there will be a ministry of truth that people will decide for you what's true and what's not. That is exactly what he does. He's taken $3 million and he's put it towards a program at University of Florida with our taxpayer money, by the way. That's where that $3 million came from. Put it towards the University of Florida under the stipulation that they do a program where they whitewash history. Whitewash is the perfect name for this too. They don't want to talk about slavery in college. That's literally what that program is doing. We could go through the whole article and I could explain it to you, you know? But this is the kind of thing that you guys should really be concerned about, because this is the guy that's probably going to be running for president of the United States.
There you go.
And you should know what he's about.
There you go.
I'm one of the only people with the balls to tell you what it's really about. You're not going to find another podcaster outing Ron DeSantis like I do. Try to find one. Let me know where the freaking upload is. It's like everybody's all hush-hush about it. You know, all of my favorite podcasters, none of them talk about Ron DeSantis. In fact, some of my favorites praise him. How's that? How's that for a slap in the face? Joe Rogan praises him. You know, Tim Pool loves him. You know, Jimmy Dore basically gives him carte blanche. He says, you know, Florida's doing so good, which it's not, by the way. Florida's doing so great, and it's all because of that man.
It's what the Democrats do. It's blue states that are pushing these mask mandates and these vaccine mandates. It is Democrats that are screaming about Omicron and saying things are getting worse. And it's typically
47.
Republicans saying no to the mandates, backing away from this stuff, and saying more so individual liberty.
Florida's ranked 4th in deaths per 100,000.
We were just in Florida. They have no restrictions. They've opened back up. They've decided to live. I saw Bill Maher talk about this. He's been
They've
touring the
opened
country as
back
we
up.
have doing stand-up. And
No,
whenever you
they've
go to a
opened
red
back
state,
up.
it's no restrictions, no nothing.
No
Everyone's
restrictions.
living their life.
Living their life.
You go to a blue state, it's a big pain in your ass. So if you get vaccinated, do it for yourself, because it doesn't help anyone else. So California touted its vaccine efforts as a way to stop COVID, until pivoting toward heavy mandates midway through 2021 when the spread didn't let up. Concurrently, Florida embraced having the least amount of restrictions in the U.S. and is now boasting better COVID data than California. You can't vaccinate your way. Then we have Dr. Robert Malone on our show, who explained you actually can't vaccinate your way out of a pandemic
Rock
like
all
this.
day.
And look at the countries,
is that little
Singapore,
song?
all of them that are super
Curb Your
vaccinated.
Enthusiasm.
Israel, they're having huge outbreaks of COVID. So
Curb your
once I
enthusiasm.
figured that out, I changed my tune about a lot of things. One of them being mandates. In fact, I don't know if it's still the case, but when we did the story a couple days ago, maybe last week, Florida had one of the lowest COVID rates in the nation.
Holly Horn.
Data misrepresented by
Interesting
Florida
people
governor.
condemning China's COVID policy are now condemning China for their relaxation.
According to two states' COVID data, as of November 6th, California's mean 7-day frequency of COVID cases, 6,288, has exceeded Florida's count by nearly 4 times their average, 1,473. California is beginning to see a resurgence in cases now that the vaccine approaches a time frame in which a dip in efficacy is event proven to start 6 months after inoculation with Pfizer or Moderna's shot, and 2 months after Johnson & Johnson. So the vaccine of efficacy wanes.
Robert Malone didn't get his Nobel Prize.
And it certainly wanes. It doesn't prevent you to transmit or get it, but
Dr. John
it wanes
Campbell.
even in protecting you.
Circle, dot, dot.
Per reporting on the vaccine's efficacy from Outkick's Meg Turner,
this shows who Outkick is. Right center. Medium credibility. With high
Moderna's
traffic.
2-dose COVID-19 vaccine
You don't
measured
want that
as
ranking for news.
89% effective in March was only 58% effective by the end of September. Meanwhile, the effectiveness of Pfizer's 2 doses fell from 87%
You can't believe
to
any of this.
45% in the same time. Now, when they say effective, when I used to read that, I used to think, oh, it's 89% effective. I thought it meant 89% effective in keeping you from getting it. But what this really means is 89% effective in keeping you out of the hospital. Isn't that what that means?
No,
That's what
Jimmy,
we looked
you don't
up today?
understand that. Number one. Number two, those studies are
89%
bullshit.
effective in
You're
keeping
getting
you
it
out of the
from an
hospital
unreliable
during
source.
COVID. Now it's only 58%. Okay. Still better than nothing. Pfizer's 2-dose vaccine fell from 87% to 45%. So there you go. As for the Johnson & Johnson single jab dosage, efficacy plunged from 86%
they're reputable.
to
They
just
call it a jab.
13%.
It's a
over those
reputable
6
paper.
months. That's the jab Ron got.
They call it a jab.
So
It
again,
seems
what I'm
about
saying
right.
is, and I'll say it again, and people will misquote me, and people will maybe not even play this part when they do a hit piece on me.
Oh, I'll play it.
But you cannot vaccinate your way out of this. That's why you see the counties and countries with the highest vaccination rates have also high transmission rates.
Each one of those is showing a disease that's been controlled, almost eliminated with vaccines. It shows the power of vaccines.
Let's talk about Florida real
That
fast
chart.
because this is a fascinating story. So, how did Florida
There he
end up
is.
with one of the best COVID-19 case death rates in the United States, despite Governor Ron DeSantis is refusing to implement masks or a vaccine mandate?
Data misrepresented by the governor, that's how. And you believe it, Jimmy, because you're a sucker.
So they have one of the best COVID-19 case and death rates right now. And they're not doing any shit. During the peak of the recent COVID-19 surge in Florida, the state was recording 101 cases per 100,000 people and a 1.77 new deaths per 100,000 people. Since mid-September, Florida has been seeing declines, and it's recording 9 cases. So down from 101 to 9 cases per 100,000 and less than 0.2 deaths per 100,000 COVID cases.
Average deaths daily, 62.
So if you had gotten COVID before, 1.7 of those people were going to die. Now, 0.2. That's a big drop. The declines are despite Governor Ron DeSantis insisting the state would not shut down and refusing to implement mask or vaccine mandates, and instead focusing efforts on early treatment. Just 2 months ago,
those balls.
Florida was experiencing the worst
balls, Jimmy.
COVID-19 surge
Taste
in the United States.
the balls,
The
Jimmy.
Sunshine State had the highest 7-day average of cases per day, as well as the highest
Taste
hospitalization
the
rate
DeSantis
in the country.
salty balls. You're going to have them on your show, bro.
Now, with Halloween and Thanksgiving, the COVID crisis looks really different in Florida. Inexplicably, cases and deaths have been going down despite DeSantis implementing no new mitigation measures.
Oh, that's the Daily Mail. They're another good one.
What? Data from Centers for the Disease Control, the CDC, show Florida is recording one of the best case and death rates in the country.
Yet another record number of daily
Additionally, the
cases.
state is doing just as well as California, despite the West Coast state taking a very strict approach, including implementing mask mandates, limiting gatherings, and closing bars and indoor dining at restaurants. After one of the worst rates
It's all
in
fake
August,
data. It's all bullshit.
CDC data show Florida is recording 64 cases
Billy
per
Valentine.
100,000 people in a week,
I
or
fucking
9
had he,
cases
that man.
per
He probably
100,000
has
people
all
per
my
day
left socks.
as of Wednesday.
I just sent him a
This
buttery
means the
tweet.
Sunshine
I wonder if
State
that got
has the best
demonetized.
case rate in the country, behind California, Mississippi, Hawaii, Alabama, respectively. So, 3 out of those 4 states are southern.
My
of those 5
report's only
states are
1
southern
month
states
apart off of
that
this,
have the
this
lowest
report.
rates.
Mine's in
Mississippi,
July. This is in August.
Alabama, and Florida. At the time, doctors and public health experts said that DeSantis' laissez-faire approach was a gamble, but it appears to have paid off.
Surrounded by Keith.
Low credibility on this
How does
one.
he get away with spewing this BS on YouTube?
Low credibility.
These metrics
Dude,
are
I'm exposing
despite
it. YouTube doesn't want
DeSantis
people to see
refusing
this
to
getting
allow
exposed.
business and schools
YouTube doesn't
from
want
implementing
to
mask
promote
and
me across
vaccine
their
mandates.
board. I curse too much. I smoke way too much. But you get to see it, so you know. Medium credibility, mixed facts, right center. He's getting all of his shit
That's
from right
monoclonal.
wingers.
You ever hear of it before, Joe Rogan? DeSantis, faced with COVID surge, urges Floridians to use Regeneron antibody treatment given to Trump. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is vowing to begin dispensing Regeneron monoclonal antibodies. The treatment given...
Top donor to Ron DeSantis donated $10.7 million to his super PAC, including a $5 million donation in April to
I'm
Ron
not
DeSantis.
a fan of DeSantis. I mean, I'm repelled by him trying to reverse allowing felons to vote, him trying to make it harder for people in general to vote, him, supporting the the far right Cuban mafia there in such a degree, and trying to ban Ben and Jerry's because they signed on to the BDS movement in support of Palestinian human rights. I mean, I'm opposed to DeSantis on almost every other issue, but on this one, we just have. You're going to see Regeneron become very popular, and people are taking it not as flamboyantly as they are in Florida, where DeSantis has made it kind of, he's flying the Regeneron flag, but people are taking it across the country. It's not just some kind of like right-wing MAGA thing.
Right. I know.
Holly Horn. Oh, Maximum Ben Norton was smart to leave. I hope Aaron Mate leaves, too.
Ben Norton's a piece of shit.
For University of Florida.
Ben Norton's a fucking idiot.
Civics program
Hollandaise.
fuels Governor
They
Santis'
did a great
agenda.
circle around my food before they ate it.
Do you want to know?
For KD,
Holly
Summed up in a
Horn.
nutshell?
going to elementary
Does Max
school
look
to
well
play
to
with
you?
My daughter #Frisbee time.
It's
Well,
what they warned you about when you were
I don't know.
reading stuff like 1984 from George Orwell.
Like he's got jaundice.
They said people are going to try to
Amazing.
control, right?
Look at
Right,
that
Doc?
drunk bastard.
And now someone will clip this like they did last time to make it look like somehow I'm telling people to vote for DeSantis. And which I expect people to do. What I don't expect is for grown-ups to fall for it. Like my fucking ex-friends. Jesus
you want
Christ.
Marjorie Taylor Greene to be president of the world?
If you're out there responding to a video that was clipped of me to make it look like I'm telling people to vote for DeSantis, you're a fucking dumb chump.
Oh, okay.
And one guy did that,
Okay.
and he came out and he was tweeting about it, and then he protected all his tweets. Why? Because he's a chicken shit coward. One guy who used to be a friend of mine believed that clipped video, started tweeting about it, got his ass ratioed by a regular person, Russ Lewis, and then hit all his tweets because he's such a fucking cunt.
Wait, for everyone or just you?
Everyone! What
did I do? Why don't I get to see this
Because he doesn't want people to see that he got ratioed and that he's a fucking moron. That he's just as big an idiot as any Hillary voter. And it was pretty sweet. By the way, I got the screenshots of it. Somebody sent me the screenshots, so now I have them.
I like what Ron DeSantis has done, to a certain degree. People have criticized him for his stance on BDS. When the CDC says COVID is surging everywhere. This is CDC data that I'm showing here on the screen. You can see that almost entirely across the country, except for Northern California, red. They're saying the transmission level is very high. So let me ask you, AOC, at a time when Florida sees a near 1,000% increase in cases, what about that was appropriate? What about that made it appropriate for you to not wear a mask? Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think mask mandates, for the most part, are insane. Masks, however, do work. Masks, however, do work. Masks, however, do work. Masks, however, do work.
Florida's so-called Don't Say Gay bill is one step closer to becoming law today. The controversial legislation says that schools cannot encourage classroom discussion about sexual orientation or gender identity. It set off a wave of debate over the rights of LGBTQ students and parental rights. Cristian Bienvenidas from our NBC station in Miami joins us now with this. Cristian, when I was thinking about this, how is this different in terms of critics' eyes from, for example, talking about the women's rights movement when gender was a, central piece of that history lesson there?
Hi, Morgan. Well, to be clear, this parental rights and education bill is all part of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis pushing forth Republican priorities during this legislative session that appeal to the base of the Republican Party. What he calls anti-woke legislation. As far as this bill, Governor DeSantis has sidestepped the question for some time since this bill caused a nationwide firestorm. But this week here in Miami, he gave his clearest indication yet that he supports this bill, although he hasn't explicitly said that he would sign it.
We've seen instances of students being told by different folks in school, oh, don't worry, don't pick your gender yet, do all this other stuff. They won't tell the parents about these discussions that are happening. That is entirely inappropriate. To get into situations where you're not having the parent, you're hiding things from the parent, you're injecting these concepts about choosing your gender,
2 minutes left.
Just inappropriate for our schools.
And reaction here in Florida has been fierce. LGBTQ plus groups have organized, and during the committee hearing this week, over 100 people showed up to that hearing earlier in the week, and some 24 people provided testimony overwhelmingly opposing the bill, with 1 or 2 exceptions. But reaction is not just here in Florida, it's also coming from the White House. Take a listen.
I'm begging you today, do not pass this bill, because like so many LGBTQ kids, I don't know where I would be without the support of teachers like Ernie, Eileen, and George. There's an epidemic of LGBTQ kids hurting themselves here. Don't take away their reason not to.
Florida's so-called Don't Say Gay bill is one step closer to becoming law today. This as it makes its way to Governor Ron DeSantis' desk.
And now someone will clip this like they did last time to make it look like somehow I'm telling people to vote for DeSantis. And which I expect people to do. What I don't expect is for grown-ups to fall for it.
See, at a time when Florida sees a near 1,000% increase in cases.
Hope you guys like that little presentation brought to you by Nay at Nay's Garden. I've got my bong in my hand. And I hope you guys do
Billy
too.
Ballantyne. Ha ha. The people that hate Jimmy also hate Joe Rogan, and Jimmy tries to reverse it by hating Joe Rogan too. He's reading The Art of War. That's a chapter. The enemy of my enemy can be my friend.
Right? All right. No law regarding cannabis. Jim, Billy Ballantyne, Florida, George, Holly, Horny. Sorry. I did not mean to say that. I was literally stuttering.
Stephen running. That was good stuff.
Let's see here. Let me close all of this. Wait, I don't want to close all that. I might want to save some of this. This is what I'm going to see. And anybody that's watching over on Rumble, thank you so much.
Very nice.
Prepares for its
Brock
final
all
act.
day.
In less than 24 hours, the panel
Brock.
is expected to make criminal referrals.
Restream.io.
Cheers.
Congratulations. You've received 100 messages today with Restream Chat. Josh G. Good video, brother. Holly Horn. Horn rhymes with nay, smiley face.
Hornet.
Stephen running. Cheers.
I got some shit down in there I gotta get out still. I can hear it. still some in there, man. Made my eyes bloodshot.
Billy Ballantyne. By the way, DeSantis, nobody tells their kids they can choose their gender in toddlerhood. What the fuck were those words coming out of his front?
It's how you start to discriminate against an entire group of people is you start by an increment where a lot of people are going to either agree with it or they're not going to see that much of a problem with it because, oh, it's the children. Okay, you're protecting kids. Okay, I see what you're doing there. And then they move on to the the middle schools and the colleges, and then it's in the workplace, and then it's everywhere. It's in a restaurant, and then it goes to the bathrooms, it goes to sports and, how you're allowed to dress and who you're allowed to be with. And, it never stops. But the one thing's for goddamn sure. They've allowed it to start, okay? He's already got his foot in the door with these kids, okay? His foot's in the door. It's not going to stop. It's got to be reversed. And people have to realize that. That law's got to be repealed. You can't just start restricting people's speech, and it's not okay to just say, well, they're young children. The speech of the young children, we can restrict that. No. Even young children have free speech in this country.
YA,
I didn't see
he was sticking his toe in bullshit lake to test the temperature.
I haven't seen an age requirement on the First Amendment, have you? Yeah, this doesn't apply to kids, through 3rd grade or 5th grade or whatever the fuck he's trying to do. It's outrageous. More people should be speaking about it. When you see people talking about, Prince Henry or whatever the fuck, instead of talking about what's going on with Ron DeSantis, understand they're turning a blind eye because they know their audiences are going to rebel against them.
LOL.
And if there's people in my audience like earlier today that you want to rebel against me about this, go ahead. I know there's a lot of you out there that support Ron DeSantis. You guys are fucking monsters, and I'm going to expose you. You notice that one guy came in before talking some shit and left immediately. They don't want to deal with me. They don't want to deal with truth. And they don't want to deal with, more than 20 people that are sitting here agreeing with me for the most part. But you're not going to have much of an argument, because like I said, whether we can agree about kids, being exposed to something or not that you might find inappropriate, there's some really good arguments against that. Number one, first and foremost, it's a violation of somebody's First Amendment right. Number two, this is how you get your foot in the door and you start taking more rights away from LGBTQ people. And you move on from there. And once you've subverted all of them, you move on. Russia's doing it too. And number three, this is just one issue. There's so many other ones. Like I said, a whole Bible's worth of horrible shit that Ron DeSantis is about. You can't even imagine. He is the utmost piece of fucking shit on the planet. You need to understand that. First and foremost, you need to understand what he is. And there's a lot of people that support that. My ears are fucked up. It's my sinuses. It's my sinuses, man. I got my ears messed up. Climate change is trending. Wow. That's crazy.
Brop all day. Sound is quiet today. I have my speaker on max. Well, I found a whole thread of people that are denying climate change exists. I'm not even going to waste my time. It's amazing. It's amazing. What I just saw just blew my mind. All the people. I mean, maybe if you lived in California and witnessed the fires, maybe if you witnessed the rains and the floods and the hurricanes or something, you know, but it's like all these people that are saying that, they're like in complete denial of it. It's like, it reminds me of that movie, Don't Look Up. Perfect. Wow. Do you guys remember me talking about Jackson Hinkle on the live stream last night? It was last night's show. It was the time, yeah, 8:15, 7:41 show. Okay, cool. My videos. Oh, where's my? We just hit a milestone, that one. Yeah, 7:01, and then I texted her at 7:15, man, right? 7:41. Okay, great.
Cut of all
Lily
time.
Valentine.
There's the best cut of all time. Dude, you left Tara Reid in there, man.
I used to...
Or something. That's usually the next one.
Okay, what was usually the
Do you remember that time you pooped on cam? And I'm like, next question.
wants to answer these questions.
Try me, bitch.
What? Asshole.
Lily Valentine.
When?
Savage Joy has body dysmorphia really bad, like.
It's the same questions
Poor
you like.
lady.
Do you remember when you met
She
me in
shows
the
the
park?
narcissism thing, that door and hanky show.
This was it. When was I talking about him, though? Holy shit. Oh. face or whatever, you know you're gonna get an instant message from some scammer. It's like, oh really? Freaking scammer. Maybe did what we talk about it or not? I don't remember. Did we talk? Hi, I don't usually following and messaging Twitter. I don't know if we talked about it.
Josh Tester.
Jackson
Yes,
Hinkle.
baby girl. Lily Valentine.
My name is Lily.
Is Kevin
You may
Monaco
have seen
is
in my
Pepper.
profile.
He seems really cool.
But I think Savage Joy might have me blocked on Twitter. Let me see if I can. Oh. That's cool.
Cheers.
Alright, no law regarding cannabis, everybody. Cheers, cheers, Kemper, cheers.
That door and hanky show.
What if I ever start talking about it? It sounds quiet. Oh, really? What if I do that? Is that better? Is that better for you? Does that make a difference? Answer what questions? Does anybody know what Josh Tester's talking about? Oh. I punched you in your mouth in the park. What else? Question? 43.
Memories.
Billy, you want me to leave him? You want me to leave him in?
43. You have no choice, haha.
What?
Numbers, you guy. Kevin Monaco.
45.
If any on E outside of us does
We're
ideally
live,
shop.
wondering where you are. 45. 35.
And spit. Gummy worms and old E.
Old English.
Michael got
Dude. Outside the reload.
to the White House to.
Did we not? Because they put shit up in places and down in places where just if you glance over, you just get have other stuff to talk about. And all 16 Republicans voting no. So just as bad for all the war criminal presidents. I don't remember where in the video we discussed. Rumble rants, jizz. Doing nothing. Not at all.
Unreal.
Again. Take two. This is Nay's Garden's impersonation of CoffeeZilla. Okay, here it goes.
I feel you. I got food poisoning from.
It should. And Jimmy could be like, hey, Jackson, you see this home I got for Steph?
Looks only get.
Oh, I found it.
When you have a kid, creditors.
20. Channel. Lost your monetization. You lost your fucking super chat.
Oh my God, 18. Okay, I found it. So we could, I just want to give this to Nikki so she knows where to watch the video
They
at.
say a high value man is only that of 10% or better.
High value
That
man.
stupid ass dude Kevin Samuels used to preach that to young men constantly. IDK, if you had heard of him, that's why I included that. Vigmuk 83. Everybody always says they want a 10, not me gimme 5.
We were talking about this before then.
Hypocrite.
14.
Oh, Billy, you're fucking very strong.
12.
What was the kind of male
Okay.
fight back? But I was really happy to go in that room and you Tate getting together. Totally. You know, Andrew Tate's gonna take date. She's like, I went out to
Oh my God.
a narrative that works for the most amount of people. So, violence to Jackson Hinkle, but I have
We cover all of this. This is awesome. I found it. It's at the beginning of last night's show.
I am a ghost from the deep ocean, and you must find my body and recover me.
No, I need to find his true and kill it.
Okay.
God, I hope I get over this goddamn fucking shit. Nikki didn't have to see all that shit.
You guys, I am sorry. Last couple days have been really hard to just shake this thing off completely. Hey, Billy Bong, what's up, buddy?
I don't like Jackson Stinkle.
Jerkson,
He's
please.
got yuppie white privilege.
Okay, so we were already talking about it before then. All right.
realizing he wasn't there to debate. He was basis. The one with Jackson Hinkle was fantastic.
Doc Hollandaise.
Okay, here we go.
Is Cyber playing the new God of War?
It's right from the beginning, 3 minutes in.
No, it's not the new one. It's not to PC yet.
No, it's not the new one. Man, Cyber's got this dude's head on his belt. He's wearing it like a fucking fanny pack. You could store all your crypto in that head, I heard. Do you guys see that head? Yeah, it's a handbag.
Josh G.
It's a hand head.
What's up, man?
It's a hand head.
Tony Zanny.
Hey.
Good evening,
all of you guys that follow me on Twitter.
Okay, there it is. 309. Alright, cool. You guys are fantastic and awesome, and I love you. We're gonna call it a show, and see you guys later this afternoon. That's what we're gonna do. Okay, we're gonna do that.
Billy Ballantyne.
Wow, Billy, yes.
Hash keep it open.
Yes. I like to say that. I like to see a lot of people say that, actually. Back to the science.
Hello, and welcome to Back to the Science.
Science. 12 hours ago.
Brop all day. Hash keep it open.
Welcome to Back to the Science. I'm Dr. Susan Oliver,
Stephen
and I'm
Running.
a scientist, and this
Hash
is
keep it
Cindy
open.
Oliver, and she's a dog. Now, a while ago, I started a series of videos on logical fallacies, but there has been so much misinformation going around lately that I've been too busy debunking it to make any new videos in the series. But as luck would have it, a few people have alerted me to a new video on Chinese vaccines by Dr. John Campbell that contained both misinformation and a logical fallacy. So I have decided to kill two birds with one stone. The logical fallacy he commits is the appeal to tradition fallacy. And this occurs when it is assumed that something is better or correct simply because it's older, traditional, or has always been done. And although people succumbing to this fallacy don't like new stuff, it is in fact a very old fallacy. This is a preprint of an article that appeared in the Saturday Evening Post on the 8th of February 1930 about the initial scepticism towards cars. Many people couldn't understand why you would want to replace the horse, which had served humans well for centuries. Of course, most people now accept that cars are more practical than horse-drawn carriages in most situations. And I'm sure that includes Dr. John Campbell. But he does still succumb to the appeal to tradition fallacy with regards to other topics. And believe it or not, in his video on Chinese vaccines, he does it twice. So
I hate
let's look
YouTube.
at the first time.
DeSantis
And just before we
2024.
go on, we will look at the way that the Chinese give the vaccines.
Billy
Another reason I'm
Ballantyne.
not too concerned about the
Oh,
vaccination
this is the
program,
woman with the
in
constant
China.
Art Deco
So
background.
here's, I think this one,
She
I can't
matches
remember where this one
everything
was, but it's a
perfectly.
Western one.
Even
The
her
vaccine
pets.
goes in
And every
straight
time
in
she
an
talks, she
aspiration.
does this.
Now this
with
nurse
her
in China, she pops the needle
hands.
This is in slow-mo. And then she aspirates to make sure she's not in a vessel, and only then does she inject it.
He's such an idiot.
So 2 different vaccines with 2 different approaches to vaccination.
Now, the aspiration technique was first introduced in the early 1900s, so it certainly has a lot of tradition behind it. But as with a lot of techniques from that long ago, it is no longer recommended in most countries, and there are a number of reasons for this. The first reason is that it simply isn't necessary. This is from a peer-reviewed article in the British Journal of Nursing, which explains the technique that should be used for administering COVID vaccinations. It is quite a detailed article which covers a number of aspects of correctly injecting COVID vaccines, and this is what it says in relation to aspiration. Aspiration of the plunger is not required due to the absence of large blood vessels at designated injection sites for COVID-19 vaccine.
I wish Nick Brown was here because he would remember that I covered this back in California. We did a whole thing about the arm and the muscle in Jimmy Dore and how that was so stupid, what John Campbell was saying, and I debunked it all. Here's listen to the research scientist.
Vaccination. Aspiration is only required when the dorsogluteal site is used, which is no longer recommended for IM injection due to proximity to large blood vessels and the sciatic nerve. The second reason is that most people were never doing it right in the first place. This article was published in 2006 in what is now JAMA Pediatrics, and it covers the results of a survey into injection techniques. And what they found was that only 3% of paediatricians and nurses who were still aspirating were actually doing it correctly. And the correct way of doing it is to draw the plunger back slightly and then wait for 5 to 10 seconds. We won't wait, we'll just continue. If after that you don't see any blood in the syringe, no, I can't see any, you then depress the plunger. Of course, you wouldn't be using a syringe this big, you'd use a tiny one, but this one's easier to see in the video. And the reason for waiting 5 to 10 seconds is because it can take that long for the blood to travel up the needle into the syringe. So if you depress the plunger before this time, the whole exercise is pointless. And if you recall the video that John was praising, the nurse didn't wait for 5 to 10 seconds. She just pulled out the plunger and then injected. So John was praising a totally pointless exercise that wouldn't have been able to detect if a needle was in a large blood vessel, even if there were any.
In other words, Dr. John Campbell doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, and Jimmy Dore worships that guy because he circles and puts check marks and underlines under things with a pen and an inset cam. He's so impressed with that. What a sucker.
When performing steroid injections.
Jimmy Dore is a sucker.
And they determined that it was not reliable, and in fact missed 50% of cases. So aspiration is unnecessary, doesn't necessarily work, and most people are doing it wrong anyway. So suggesting people should be doing it is committing the appeal to tradition fallacy. Of course, sometimes it is nice to keep up traditions, and that is fine as long as there is no harm in them. But in the case of aspiration, there actually is potential harm because aspiration makes injection more painful. And most people don't like pain, including me. And if you would like more details on why aspiration is no longer recommended from an actual medical practitioner, Dr. Yan Yu has made an excellent video about it, and I'll provide a link to it in this video's description. Okay, so that's John's first appeal to tradition fallacy in the video, but he also has another one.
It is a completely different approach to vaccination. It's the tried and tested traditional approach to vaccination. not using a new novel technology, using technology that's been around for over 100 years. Well, over 100 years.
100 years.
How's that for an appeal to tradition? A tried and trusted vaccine using technology that has been around for well over 100 years. The vaccine that John is talking about here is the Chinese Sinovac vaccine, which is an inactivated virus vaccine. The first inactivated virus vaccine was the influenza vaccine that was introduced in 1936, which is a little bit less than 100 years ago, but there were some inactivated bacteria vaccines earlier than that, which I guess is what John meant. Of course, if you really want to go with tradition, the first vaccines were live attenuated virus vaccines, and many of these are still used today.
Now, the Chinese vaccine, the Sinopharm vaccine, is not an mRNA vaccine. It does not get into cells and stimulate the cell's own genetic material to stimulate the antigen, to stimulate the antibody and the other immune responses. It does not use an adenovirus vector to go into the cells to stimulate the cell's own genetic material to make the antigen that stimulates the immune response. It does none of that. It's just a plain old-fashioned dead virus, basically dead viral material. Nothing complicated.
Wow, those mRNA and viral vector vaccines sure sound scary. Well, they sure sound scary if you have limited scientific literacy regarding biology and immunology. And there's nothing wrong if you do, because not everyone needs to know things like that. But if you do have literacy in those areas, you would know that mRNA vaccines don't stimulate your genetic material because mRNA produces proteins from the cytoplasm of cells, not from the nucleus. And you would also know that transporting mRNA into cells and getting the cells to make antigens is exactly the same thing that viruses do, as well as attenuated virus vaccines. Except as well as getting the cells to make antigens, they also assemble them into more virus
Dave
particles
C. Fishing.
so that they can infect.
They got the COVID
cells.
warning banner on your video page on YouTube.
Yeah, I know,
whereas
Billy
if
told me.
you are infected by a virus or
because of my
injected
title.
with an attenuated virus vaccine, mRNA is delivered into cells via a virus particle. With mRNA vaccines, it is delivered via a lipid nanoparticle. Ooh, lipid nanoparticles. That sounds new and scary. Yeah, no. Lipid nanoparticles have been used in FDA-approved medication since 1995. Not so new and scary. And the first clinical trial combining lipid nanoparticles and mRNA was in 2014. So it's not exactly new technology. Of course, this still doesn't explain why we wouldn't want to use one of the tried and trusted vaccine technologies instead of these newfangled mRNA or viral vector vaccines. Actually, viral vector vaccines aren't new either. They have already been used for Ebola vaccines. But mRNA vaccines haven't been commercialised before now. So why were they used? Well, John has a theory.
I wonder why we didn't do this in the West. Because what you can do is basically you can just brew up huge amounts of this virus. You just do it you have a cell culture. You can proliferate the cells in huge vats, and you can make up huge amounts of virus. Basically, kill the virus and inject it, and it's not complicated. It's a tried and tested process. That's what the approach the Chinese have taken. I don't know why we didn't do that in this country. I wonder why that could have been. Anyway, we didn't do that. We went for a novel patentable technology instead.
I think that John may be trying to suggest that the only reason mRNA vaccines were used in the West was because they could be patented. Only problem with that suggestion is that you can still patent inactivated virus vaccines. For example, this is a patent that was issued in 2016 for a dengue virus vaccine that was based on an inactivated virus. And of course, we also have the Novavax vaccine in the West, which uses a traditional approach. So why were new generation vaccines actually developed? Same reason cars were developed. Although horse and carriages were effective transport options, it didn't mean they didn't have shortcomings. And it is the same with traditional vaccines. So this slide shows the key advantages and disadvantages of live attenuated virus vaccines versus inactivated vaccines. And the advantages and disadvantages of inactivated vaccines that I have listed here, although you can't see them yet because it's blank, but you'll see them later. And they're also relevant to subunit vaccines, which use a key antigen from a virus. For live attenuated virus vaccines, the key advantage is that they produce a strong immune response. And that is because they are a live virus. So the body responds exactly how it responds to a natural live virus. Their disadvantage, though, is because they are a live virus, they can't be given to immunocompromised or pregnant people. And in some cases, they can mutate into more virulent viruses. And this is what happened with the oral polio vaccine, which is why it is no longer used in most developed countries. For inactivated viruses, the advantages are that they can be given to immunocompromised and pregnant people, which is important because these are often the people who are most at risk from the diseases that we vaccinate against. But they have the disadvantage that they don't elicit as strong an immune response as live attenuated vaccines. This can be partly rectified through the use of adjuvants, but adjuvants don't completely fix the problem. And the reason for this is because part of a robust immune response is the formation of memory CD8 T cells or killer T cells, as they're known. And killer T cells generally require antigens to be presented on the surface of cells for them to form. And this doesn't happen with inactivated vaccines. However, with mRNA and viral vector vaccines, you get the advantages of both. Like viruses, they use your cells to produce antigens, so you get a full immune response. But because they don't replicate, they can still be given to immunocompromised people and they can't mutate into more virulent viruses. So that's the theory, but do mRNA vaccines actually provide better efficacy? Well, that's what...
Interesting stuff. Listen, guys, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching with me. You guys should check her out. For sure. She's constantly debunking those guys that Jimmy Dore watches. So go enjoy. That's the kind of content she has. She's actually hilarious. She does some really funny shit. She's seasonal. So it's called Back to the Science on YouTube. All right, you guys, thank you. I hope you enjoyed the extra time. We spent 39 minutes over the hour. I'll see you guys later today. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, I'll be at Nave's Garden. That's the one thing.
You all have a good day.
I'll be at Nave's Garden on Twitter, and the spaces are on the smartphone. You can find them. It's the purple stripe. Just click on the bottom and go to spaces. If I'm in a space, it'll say I'm in a space if you go to my channel.
Dave C. Fishing.
Right. I hope so.
See you later.